So, let's talk about how Reiki came into my life. So, I was doing I was in social work. This is when I got into actual social work, the program itself. So this is probably in the mixture of when I met the White Word Sage, but also me going, also Spirit just like, we got another side quest mission for you, right? So one of my, the dean of the social work program at the time, she was like, hey, do you have an availability to go do a freshman seminar class? And I was like, sure, of course, no problem. What's up? You know what I'm saying? What's up? So I went over there. It was an evening class. I went over there and I was doing this survey. You know, they were filling out the survey. And then the teacher who announced to me, I did not know this, was a Reiki master at the time. She had a chakra bag, one of those little bags that go over your shoulders, little straps, and the lady sitting in the lotus pose, and all the 7 chakras going up the spine, or going up the center column. And I was like, oh snap, chakras. And she was like, what you know about chakras? And I was like, oh, I know a little something. I ain't really too in depth at the time, because at the time I wasn't. And she was like, oh, okay. Now, mind you, I'm a brother, she's a sister, like, melanated on this beautiful campus. She's highly aware of the gifts and the spirituality. I'm new to it. So she's like, you know, she's like, oh, okay. So from that day on, it was like, you know how you meet somebody and then you're able to always see them from that day moving forward? Well, after that day, I believe it was a campus event that was going on campus, and I may be skipping a segment, but there was a campus event, and this is like the next big thing that happened with Asha, Miss Asha Sims, right? It was a campus event, and she was in front of one of the buildings, and I was like, hey, Miss Sims, hey, Asha, how you doing? And she goes, hey, baby, how you doing? I was like, I'm doing great, nice to see you. She's like, come here for a second, I want you to meet somebody. Okay, and this is when I realized that spirituality is really deep and that our elders have some true gifts. Because then I met Mama Kelly. And Mama Kelly is one of those divine beings known in the Charlotte community to tap in with your spirit guides and be able to be a mediumship. So when I tell you I met this woman, never told Asha about my past, never explained anything to both of them about my past. When Mama Kelly looked me in my eyes, she began to read me for life. I'm talking about from birth up into my present day, and she was just running straight facts. And I'm just like, how do you know this information? I didn't tell her. I'm looking at Asha. I was like, I ain't say nothing. And I'm just like, well, how did she know this information? Because there's no way she should know this information, right? And then she hits me with it's your spirit guide who told me. And I was like, well, what's his name, right? And she's like, well, he doesn't want you to know his name at the time. And I was like, okay. But she's like, she gave me another name to address him by. I was like, all right, cool. That is the same spirit guide who then in my first video was going to all these other Reiki masters and getting them to, you know what I'm saying, help me along my journey once I got to that point of looking for level 3, right? So from there on, it was like a beautiful, enlightening experience because I was able to become more familiar with the Reiki community of Charlotte through Asha and Mama Kelly. And when I say it just like expanded my reality of what we can really do with Reiki, what we can really do once we tap into our own gifts, it was something beyond anything I could fathom, beyond anything I could just create in my head. And I was truly grateful for that opportunity, and I was truly grateful for that experiences and all the experience that came after. From Asha, I was able to meet a gentleman who's also in the social work program. I cannot remember his name. I remember what he looks like, but I cannot remember his name. And though our engagement was brief, I did learn a lot from him. However, there was a moment we was going, I believe, over to Asha's house. Matter of fact, before I get to that point, he was the original person that proved to me that we can really connect with trees. My man stood under a tree, held his hand out, and without saying anything, the tree came down and touched his hand. And I was like, yo, how you do that? Like, how you do that just now? And needless to say, he didn't tell me how. He was just like, it was just his energy and how he formed a connection with the tree. Even though I explained it just now, that's not telling me how to do it. Especially at that time when I was understanding my gifts and all that great jazz. So, rolling down in the car, and he tells me, he's like, I cannot, because I'm like, okay, I got a male teacher, you know what I'm saying? He's male, he's black. And I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I was like, well, can you teach me? And he was like, no, I cannot teach you. And I was like, why not? And he's like, you have more feminine energy and you have more divine feminine energy in you. And I was like, okay, I mean, I guess I'm a Cancer or whatever, I guess. But I get now what that message meant then that I couldn't fathom. And he's like, essentially, this contract, this lifetime, though I would meet males who are spiritually aware of themselves, spiritually inclined, for me to balance out the equilibrium of my family lineage, I must learn from females. Which, in theory, all of my Reiki masters are women. Divine feminine. And I'm grateful for all of them. So yes. Then it comes a point where I actually get my level 1 Reiki attunement. And then that's when things start to ramp up, because I'm learning how to do the hand placements. I'm doing self-healing on myself. I'm working with meditations. I'm working with the earth elementals. The spirit of the earth is really coming alive. And then I'm just like hands-on. I'm always engaging with Asha on campus. I'm seeing her. She's showing me people. She's telling me to come out to these events. She's, looking out for me. I'm like, cool. She gave me the student discount. I was like, what's goody? And then we get to level 2. Level 2 was at her home, her place of residency. And then I met my divine sisters of the class. Mish, shout out to you and everyone else that was a part of that Reiki level 2 attunement. So grateful for y'all. Iman. I can't remember everyone's name, but yes, shout out to my sisters. And once I got to level 2, and then I started getting symbols, I was already privy and aware of these symbols because White Word Sage had the Magic of Reiki book. So this is when I was like, oh, I had a light bulb turn on, and all of the symbols I was looking at, they really began to resonate and speak to me. So I was using symbols left and right, Reiki sandwiches, you know what I'm saying? I was creating, then that's when I started to create my own Reiki armor, Reiki outfits, Reiki spiritual grids, and you know what I'm saying? That's when things really started to ramp up. And that's when tie that back into the White Word Sage. So I was Reiki too when I was working with him at a point in our journey, because then that's when I started using the distance doorway to work with dragons. But also when he would work on himself and overexert himself because he's using the natural energy, I would be the Reiki healer to our brotherhood, and then I would heal him through Reiki energy work using the different symbols. And sometimes I made him certain Reiki armor and things of that caliber, and he would create certain anchors. I had a ring at one time, and he gave me a scythe for one of my spirit guides so that I could channel that benevolent energy. And so I'm just using the awareness of these newfound gifts. And Asha, she's like, you're on a different caliber. You're the way you utilize Reiki is different from what I was taught. And she always told me to cultivate and keep pushing in my awareness and understanding. So, Asha, if you see this video, I want to say thank you for always bringing an open arm, for bringing me into the Reiki journey and really seeing the light within me that I did not know was in me at the time, though it was being cultivated and being designed by God, Source, Enter themselves. So if you see this video, thank you. And anytime you need me, I am there. Peace.